He say, she say, we say, I say, hearing out them points of views when I see it my way. Yes it goes, yes it knows, maybe so's, probably not, shoulds and coulds, do's and don'ts, your wills and won'ts is how you rock. Politicians and religions, on your house or are you renting? Is you married, is you single, meta interest when you mingle, turn out to be someone you into, so how long before the bed get wrinkled? Children when they tripping, is it time out or do you whip them? Opinions and decisions, hunches, intuitions, may or may not get it, cause people's experience different. Check the prejudice at the door. Speak the mind, you give the flow. Tell the truth if it's sweet or sour, cause the hour we spitting that fire.
Hello, everyone. This is Spitting Fire coming to you with another one. We got so much to talk about here. So one thing we're going to talk about first is we're going to talk about the antitrust laws, okay? And then we're going to talk about Google. And then we're going to sit up there and see how we can apply it to the stuff that we talk about here on these YouTube streets, especially Spitting Fire. And then we can probably use these laws to benefit us as a people. You know, Ice Cube has a contract with Black America. And I am going to revamp the muting is bullying. And we're going to go with some things and go forward, okay? Because it has to happen, okay? So, with the antitrust laws, the government has decided to sue Google, okay? They had the DOJ, the Department of Justice, had decided to sue Google. Now, when the government decides to sue a corporation, all right, for antitrust violations with, like, I guess the Sherman Act or Clayton or whatever, okay, whatever one that they believe fit into the category that they violated the antitrust, I guess this is one of the acts that they're going to sue for. Now, in the process of all of that, right, we got an issue with the government itself. And we often say, we as a people of Black America, I will say, not just of color, but Black America, we at the bottom of the totem pole, which we have heard Ice Cube speak on that. And this is why, because he is right about a lot of things. He said he was working with anybody that would listen to him, about his contract with Black America, whether it was Democrat or Republican. It did not matter. It did not matter. And he said, well, he said the Democrat, but the Democrat was not, they said wait till after the election. Well, the Republican said, well, we'll do it now. So he started working with the Republican. And he is the one that's in office now, and he is the powers that be. So people were upset with him and calling him all kinds of, names and things like that. But anyway, I just went and referred back to the Ice Cube situation to let you guys understand how people are now trying to work with politicians and the government to get about laws changed. It's about time. We have often argued about reparations and things like that, and they just basically told us they're not giving it to us. But another group of people with all these alphabets in their, acronyms, okay, they came along, piggyback off Black America's struggles, which was the civil rights movement, got all these rights passed, and they owned everything and supported by a billionaire, okay, by the name of George Soros, and he's making sure that they are fully protected. They are being protected more so than Black people as a culture. In other words, unless you are Black and part of that acronym, you're not protected. But if you just back Black and traditional, you are in trouble, because now you got the Me Too movement that's after you, especially if you are a traditional Black man with money. And you have dated and they didn't like you, then they can come back and scream these charges on you. So these are a lot of things that we have as Black America to have to worry about. Not only that, but us as Black America, and I hope Ice Cube hear me, in that contract, and those girls that when he was on the Queen show on Soul Fox with Vivica Fox and Lisa Ray and Selena and Claudia Jordan, they said no, it's different with black girls and all this and that. Well, he need to make sure he have one in there that they can't go back 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years and sue a black man because they didn't like the way the relationship turned out, and now all of a sudden they're victims. We need to make sure that doesn't happen as well. So make sure of that. Don't let them bras come and edit your black contract and mess it up, because they have separated themselves. Black America is not supposed to be separated in that contract, and don't you deviate from that. Black women is included in Black America. Okay, all that separation we have to stop. But getting back to this antitrust laws, I just had to say that because, you know, we have gotten so far beyond what these issues are, and we are separated as people. And this is why I always speak on cultural obligation. And then you got people on here hating me, and what I'm speaking of, now they try to demean it and all this and that. But you can't demean it, because if you are a person of color, it involves you as well. And until somebody in your family get hurt or be a victim or everything else of these systemic racism laws that we have going on, and non-fair, because you have black men in your family that you care about, but you act as if you don't know you care about them until actually something happened to them, and that's sad and it's sick in itself. Okay, so what we need to do now is try to figure out a way that we all can work together and stop black women for setting up our own men. We need to put a wedge between that, and they need to be looked down upon so they'll know not to do it. And we need to make sure we shun those women who do that. Now, and at the same time, protect those who are real victims. So with these antitrust laws, okay, these are laws that probably should try to stop monopolies, okay, company from monopolies. But I find it very ironic that the DOJ will try to sue Google for violating the antitrust law. In addition to, Facebook has been doing that for every social media that comes, new social media that comes up and abroad. Look what the government is trying to do to TikTok, okay? Look what they're trying to do to TikTok, and they want to make sure that they don't become take over. So Mark Zuckerberg is making sure that no new social media is going to do to him what he did to what they call it before Facebook, MySpace. Okay, so what he done to MySpace, he makes sure his doesn't get done like that. So he has violated a lot of antitrust laws. Trust and believe me. So what do? Well, I think that we should take heed to what the DOJ is doing to this corporation Google, and I think we need to piggyback off of that, just like the alphabet people did us with civil rights, and do it to them. You get what I'm going with this? Now, in 2019, I was the first one to talk about the injustices. And I was talking about what we should do. I was talking about billboards. I was talking about rallies. I was talking about a lot of things. Then people wasn't feeling it. A year later, people start feeling it. They start doing it, implementing it. But now I can't even participate in it. However, this now I'm going to give you some other things that we need to work on. Okay, without trying to give too much detail, because you know you got another side over here that's trying to block and stop everything. Okay, so I won't give too much details. What I do, and if they try to stop it, it's only what they think. So now that they trying to sit up there and sue Google, the DOJ, that reminds me, we are a cultural people. Maybe we should take on some legal actions, because the way these things and these laws is happening is not helping us none either as a race of people, as a culture of people. You understand what I'm saying? So we need to get something for our buck, and we need to let the federal government know we're not having this. In other words, you are incarcerating people on propaganda, social media, and non-fact and evidence. You done got away from the traditional court setting. The social media settings, propaganda, and the media does not take place or precedence over our Constitution, which you allow them to do, incarcerating our men, even including white men. No men should be prosecuted on propaganda. If he can prove that he didn't do it by any means, he should be let free. Okay? And you got to be fair. Now we have all these laws that men are coming that was dating younger women, and we got all these laws talking about some trafficking. This word trafficking has been, or we can go with the trafficking everywhere. Trafficking is big. Trafficking. Nobody gave a damn about trafficking. Trafficking is not new, but now they care about trafficking. Why? Because being a victim is profitable now. Being a victim is where the money at now. We can sit up there and change these laws. People are sensitive today. Being a victim is the thing to do. We got men on these YouTube streets play victim all the time. They play victim all the time. You know what I mean? So if the men can play victim, you know women gonna definitely play victim. Hey, they played it. Just like when Terry Crews played victim when he was sitting next to Tarana Burke and he down with the Me Too movement and it happened to him. He made sure he got some money out of the deal too. Men play victim as well if they believe it to be profitable. Okay, and I just think that is not manly, that is not masculine at all. I don't think no man should play victim. Now, men are victims as well, but if you are a victim and a man, be a real victim, not a victim for profit. Okay, and stop using the law as a tool for revenge. I think women using the law as a tool for revenge for failed relationships that have happened or they scorn or whatever else. I'm not going to play her clipping, but Judge Vonda, she was talking about dating an older man, and I had said this prior on Spitting Fire as well. When you are dating an older man, okay, it's not about just working together. And she even mentioned, she's like, even with Robert, you were so worried about getting Birkin bags and bread bottoms. You should have been making sure he pay for your schooling. You should have been making sure you set yourself up aside, because you ought to be know that it's only a short window. And it is. Unfortunately, it shouldn't have been in a false accusation for profit. It should have been you setting yourself up. But it was all about, we all know a record deal. That didn't happen, okay? And this is why he's going through what he's going through. Hopefully, the sequester jury can see right through that. Hopefully. Because one of the things that needs to be, well, I won't say it on here. Okay, I just hope that when I get started with something this time, like I tried last time, I hope this time and this year or next year, you guys have my back more so than ever. And hopefully you will learn to find someone that is tech savvy that can help you do the things that I may need or help you to do, and you help me to do, so we can get these things done. Okay, because now I see people that's out here rallying, out here organizing and doing things. But the difference between Spitting Fire is I'm not just doing things for profit. I am passionate about what I do. There's nothing wrong with making money while you're doing the things that you need to do. But you got to make sure you're doing the deed in itself. You understand what I'm saying? So, in other words, the reason why I support the rally is because I don't mind supporting people who are going to the rally or organizing the rally, because they're actually doing a rally. So whatever they do with the money that I donate to them, I cannot complain with it, because they're actually doing something. They're doing a deed. You get what I'm going with this? And so this is what I want people to understand with me. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with being profitable. You just have to make sure that you do the deed that you're telling people that you're going to do. In other words, if we were doing billboards and we're going around doing this, well, yes, you have to pay for hotels, you have to pay for food, you have to pay for people to do these things. But at the same time, make sure you actually put up the billboards. You can't just collect money and not do it. You understand? And that's the thing that I want people to understand. When you donate to something, there should be a way where you can see the balance. There should be a way where you will know what's in there. And there should be somebody telling you weekly, monthly, or whatever, what is in there. You should not just be blindly doing something. You know what I mean? Some things have to be exposed and seen for people to actually do it. And that's understandable. This is why I said, well, GoFundMe is a good site, because you can actually see what is donated. The bank, a reputable financial institution, which means if something happened to the money, it's federally insured by the government. And the government, anything over $10,000, they're actually monitoring it. And so you would know that that money is protected and it can be used for what it is that it's supposed to be used for. Okay? Minus service fees. So in the process of this, let's read this article so we can find out the what's going on. Now, with these articles, I do not personally have any type of court accounts where I can actually get down to the dockets of this. I'm not that interested in it. I would just give you a side of that it is a lawsuit happening, and when the story develops, I'd like to actually get a real person to give me some information, because a lot of times when you read and interpret things, it may not mean that. Okay, I am not a lawyer or whatever, so I can interpret things the way I think it means, but that doesn't mean that it means that. So we're going to get into this so we know what happened, and then we may need to think about maybe we need to do this for us. And it may benefit the guys that are incarcerated or detained pending trial because of us. You understand what I'm saying? So let's because if the DOJ can sue Google, then why we can't sue the government? Okay, so these are things that we need to think about. All right, these are things that we need to think about. Okay, so let me read this. As I put the link in the description below, you can read it some more. And we're going to talk about these things, okay? Make sure you're in the thread. We can talk about it, okay? Thumbs up if you like the video. Thumbs down if you don't. It doesn't matter because you visit the channel and I appreciate it anyway. Okay, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll know when I upload a new video. All right? Okay, make sure you do that. And if you would like to support the channel, you can also Cash App SPITTINFIRE. All right, make sure you do that. That's always appreciated too. We have to grow like you do too. All right, thank y'all for listening to SPITTINFIRE. I'm your girl, R.A. Jackson.